Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are back in Enlisted looking at an event that is going to be going on from the 25th of April to the 29th of April, and this is to celebrate Elbe Day. Now Elbe Day, as described by the Enlisted team, on the 25th of April 1945, not far from the German town of Torgau, the US and Soviet armies closed the front on Berlin. It was on the Elbe River when the Allies shook hands to symbolize the efforts of different nations to reach a common peace for all. And when it comes to Enlisted, they're celebrating this day with a little bit of a mini event. Basically, from April 25th to April 29th, you can complete event tasks in all campaigns and get some rewards. So you can get two wins, you can get a silver order for weapons for 5 battles played, you can get a silver order for a soldier, and also 300% booster for 2 battles as well, which is awarded for completing the first 5 tasks in the event. So you get a set of tasks for every campaign, and the silver orders can be awarded once per day. So this is a way for you to be able to get some extra silver orders for your campaigns. I know a lot of people have been talking about how they can't get enough silver orders. Well, these little events here make it a lot easier for you to be able to do that. It also sits in well with the battle pass stuff. So make sure to get involved in this one. Get yourself some free stuff. They also started up their series again, making Enlisted a better place, so I thought we would go over some of the improvements that they've gone through. Basically, all to do with grenades, mainly rifle grenades, trying to make them a little bit more useful. Rifle grenades, at least before this change, were basically just things so you didn't need to aim. They were very, very short range explosives that you would shoot in little corridors, or if you saw an enemy, just shoot at their feet and it would kill them. It's pretty much as simple as that. Unless they had certain perks, such as the downed perk and also the vitality perk, it would pretty much one-shot them. But it wouldn't do a lot of damage in a decent area. So what they've decided to do is they have improved them. What they've done is they've significantly increased the damage of rifle grenade launchers and also speeded up reloading and setting up of rifle grenades. And also rifle grenade launchers will be loaded with the first grenade, so when you actually pop it, and then rifle grenade launchers also will automatically reload after firing, so you don't have to tell them to reload. This is good. This brings it in line with a lot of the other weapons in the game. Not sure I would have it so it's automatically loaded on the actual rifle, but they're obviously trying to make them a bit more useful, and since a lot of the later tier rifle guns is based around the idea of using rifle grenades on top of your guns, they're trying to make them a bit more useful. We've seen this quite a lot where they're trying to buff certain classes and they're trying to reduce the effectiveness of others, and this would be a straight buff to the trooper class. The question is, will you still use this over something like a semi-auto setup or something similar to that? And will you be able to quick switch between the 2 modes? So what you can do is you can go into an area, fire the rifle grenade, and then cancel the animation of the reload and then start shooting and go in from there. You could also make it so when you switch to AIs, you could just lob a bunch of rifle grenades in if you have 9 troopers or something, and you just bang, 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 and just keep going. And then also with explosive packs and F1 grenades and, all of that stuff, you could become really a one-man explosive team. So it really depends on how the rifle grenades do. I never personally found a huge use for them in the game, so I can understand them tweaking them right now, trying to make them a little bit better than they were before, because before they were kind of useless. There wasn't a lot to do with them, really. And then also, at the same time, they've changed a few other things. They've added an animation for changing the type of grenade in your soldier's hand. Previously, it would just change the model, and so there you go. You can see the actual grenade now. Fixed a bug so that after a heavy wound that happened while holding a grenade, you could end up with empty hands. So that means that, it's a little bit bug-free again. They fixed a bug that made soldiers switch weapons when changing seats in vehicles. That was actually one that affected me quite a lot, and I don't I felt like there was another switching weapons bug as well. There was something odd going on, at least for me. And this might just be me just being an idiot, which a lot of the time it could be. But when I was throwing explosive packs, because I have explosive packs attached to my mouse button 4 and grenades attached to my mouse button 5. So what I'll do is I'll interchange depending on what I'm throwing, and it means that I don't have to wait for the animation and all of that. But one of the issues that I was running into when it comes to it is I would load up an explosive pack, throw it, and then suddenly my gun was changed to another one that I was holding if I was using certain people. So I feel like that bug maybe in other areas, but also it might just me being an idiot, as I said. So it's probably more that. But it's nice to see some buffs to rifle grenades. Hopefully they get used a little bit more. There are already a lot of explosions in Enlisted and stuff, and a lot of just absolute anarchy going on a lot of the time, so why not add a little bit more to it? They also did a little bit of a balance update, I suppose, and this was on the 22nd of April. They did the changes, starting with the medics. The number of points awarded to medics for healing allies has been reduced to 15. They also added a limit to the maximum number of points awarded for healing the same ally in a limited amount of time, and the duration of the Not Step Back event has been extended by 1 day. Now, I didn't cover the One Step Back event on the channel because I really don't like those events at all. I don't think they actually really show anything apart from how can people abuse the system the most to be able to get the most score. And also at the same time, with Stalingrad being a pay-to-win campaign, it was just a way for paid players on the German side to beat up everybody else because they have superior weapons. And it was not a fun time when it comes to pretty much anybody on those sides. The fact that they've done this change to medics is because people were abusing the systems during those events. What they would do is they would injure their allies and then just heal them up over and over and over again. And this gave them a ridiculous amount of points. So once again, having a competitive area, even for minimal rewards, people are abusing the systems like they do every single time. This is why I don't like esports competitive events when it comes to in-game stuff, because if it's not controlled properly, people just, instead of doing it properly, just abuse the systems. And it's boring as hell, and it doesn't actually make a competition out of it. And the fact is, when it comes to the medics, I don't think they need to be nerfed. The medics themselves are pretty decent, but they're basically just mini assaulters at the end of the day who can heal people, which is quite nice. The medic squad itself needs a buff. Maybe add an engineer to it, or maybe add another element to it instead of just a few medics, because at the moment it's just a worse assaulter squad, so why would I not just play an assaulter squad in its place, because I can run a medic with them and I don't need more than one medic really at any given point. But generally these are, at least the maximum number of points for healing the same ally is a good change. I wouldn't reduce the number of points awarded to a medic, because you still want to push people to actually do these medic actions instead of, as I said, just use them as assaulters, which is kind of what was happening. But yeah, maybe in the future I'll cover the esports or competitive events, but after looking at the leaderboards and after chatting to people who were really going for those things, it just seems like the ideas were, at least for this one, it was obviously use the best stuff on one side, and pretty much all of the main people just use Germany. They just shat on everything around them. And because Germany right now is the way stronger side in Stalingrad, and it will continue to be if there aren't any balance changes to Stalingrad. And it just kind of emphasized the issues that exist, and also shows how people exploit these systems in order to gain an advantage. So overall, I'm not too interested in that. Not a huge fan, as always, so I would much prefer just to enjoy the game instead of get muddled into how to min-max, so my brain goes crazy. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Merciless Reaper, Jerry Provolt, Mega Dino King, Professor X1718, Orangetail, Sakoshi Tiger, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, Moxie, B. Young, and Derek R., Barine, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.